Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. A lot is going on yet again in the market, as you can imagine. It wasn't too long ago that War of the Spark came out. Modern Horizons just came out this past week, and we are already seeing preview cards for Core Set 2020. With all the influence from these new cards, you bet there's a lot of card spiking. We're going to talk about all of it today. Just a fast reminder, if you're looking to pick up any Core Set 2020, either singles or a booster box, they do have them on FlipsideGaming.com. If you use the promo code HEROES, you can save a little cash, and of course that does support the channel, which is always appreciated. With that being said, let's get into it. We'll begin, as we always do, with the top 5 standard legal cards that have lost value this week. We do have one honorable mention, and that is God Eternal Covenant, down $1.17 to $11.03. So this continues to go down, but it does feel like it's seeing a little more play this past week. Is it Phoenix decks seem to be running this more and more consistently to go along with the Grixis control decks that were already running it? Keep an eye on this one next season. It's also seeing a fair amount of Commander play too, which you never want to overlook. Number 5 is Gideon Blackblade, down $1.37 to $12.30. Now, Gideon has been seeing play in Azorius aggro, mono white aggro, but when you compare the amount of play that this card sees to the price point, it still feels a little high. We'll have to see what changes next season, but right now I do think this will decline more. Number 4, the Immortal Sun, goes down $1.65 to $23. So this is still part of the Gros mid-range decks, at least some of the time. I am seeing it less and less there, though. However, Bant Mass Manipulation is playing it more and more, so it is still seeing a little bit of standard play. But it did spike very aggressively prior to War of the Spark coming out, as people thought they might need this card, at least in sideboards, to deal with the Planeswalkers. The 6 casting cost is still a lot to ask, though, for a lot of decks, and because of that, it's really not seeing a ton of play. It will lose more value. $23 is a very high price point. Still a good Commander or Oathbreaker card, though, and will always be. Number 3, Liliana Dreadhorde General, goes down $1.86 to $20.57. This card has seen a ton of standard play. Esper Tempo is just such a popular deck right now. Feels like it's everywhere. This is also in Grixis control. But even so, because it's not in a larger variety of decks currently, combined with the fact that a lot of War of the Spark has been open, this continues to decline. Number 2, Nicol Bolas the Ravager, goes down $3.64 to $29.60. This continues to lose value at a pretty big pace, and I think that will continue. The issue is it only sees play in Grixis control. Hasn't really done much outside of standard either. And remember, rotation is also coming for this, as well as many other cards this fall. This stands to lose a lot of value between now and then. Number 1, Crucible of Worlds, 10th edition, down $2.67 to $32.79. 5th Dawn, down $6.40 to $35.99. This card got so hot recently and spiked incredibly aggressively, and because of that, you are seeing retraction now as everything is starting to normalize. The initial catalyst for this card was Karn the Great Creator. A lot of decks that wanted to play Karn also would play at least a copy of this, so all of a sudden, this card started to go up. Then Modern Horizons previews came, and there was a lot of interactions with lands. A lot of people started to speculate on this card then too. Even now, from the Magic 2020 previews, it looks like lands might play a bigger role in Standard this next season. Even so, though, this card stabilizes down quite a bit. We move on now to the top 10 standard legal cards that have gained value this week, and yes, we are doing 10. Shock lands continue to be very strong. You're going to see that as we go through the list today. Also, we're on the cusp of another standard set coming out in just a couple weeks. Core Set 2020 is going to change everything again. A lot of people are excited and thinking about what cards they want to pick up. Number 10 is Vraska Golgari Queen. It goes up 55 cents to $8.58. Now, this card has gained more popularity recently as it sees more standard play again. You'll find this in Sultai Midrange and 4-color Dreadhorde. Number 9, Hydroid Crisis. This card has been good in standard ever since it premiered, up 61 cents to $21.51. Currently, the strongest decks where you'll find it are Bant and Simic Mass Manipulation, as well as Sultai Midrange. Number 8 is Hallowed Fountain from Ravnica Allegiance. It goes up 63 cents to $10.64. Huge part of important mana bases now in standard, including Esper Tempo, Bant Mass Manipulation. In Modern, you'll find this in the very popular Azorius control deck and much more. Number 7, Wayward Swordtooth, goes up 65 cents to $10.65. So a few things have got people interested in this card. First off, we did see some new dinos coming because of Core Set 2020. More on that a little bit later. Also, Renin 6 is popular right now in singleton formats. But another Core Set 2020 card has got people talking. That's Omnith Locus of the Royal. Perhaps in Standard or maybe Commander, these cards will work well together. Number 6 is Breeding Pool. This is the one from Dissension, though, up 68 cents to 23.27. Another key part of big mana bases, including Bant and Simic Mass Manipulation, Sultai midrange, and of course this sees a ton of modern play too. Number 5, Finale of Devastation. This goes up 79 cents to 8.88. This is seeing a little bit of modern play now. You're going to find this in a lot of the Devoted Druid builds, and also it's showing up in a few other places too. Now, there's another reason it could be climbing this week, and that is because of a Core Set 2020 preview, and that is Villas Broker of Blood. One of the better ways to perhaps get this out in Standard is to play a green deck ramping into Finale of Devastation, and then go and find this card. We'll have to see if that actually is viable in Standard, but I'm sure someone's going to find a way to get this thing on the battlefield. Number 4, Stomping Ground from Guild Pact, up 79 cents to $20.73. You're going to find this in Gros mid-range decks in Standard. Modern, it's in Dredge, which is always popular, plus many other decks as well. Number 3 is Blood Crypt, up 98 cents to $22.82. This is the one from Dissension. And this is in Grixis Control currently in Standard, but it's not in a whole lot of other places right now. Modern, though, it is in Dredge, and it's in Hogak Bridgevine, which is very, very popular currently. You'll find it in a lot of other decks there too. Number 2, yet another Shockland. It is Sacred Foundry from Ravnica, City of Guilds. It goes up $1.08 to $17.49. You're going to find this in Jeskai Super Friends as well as other decks in Standard. In Modern, it's in Burn and Jeskai Saheeli, two very popular decks among others. Number 1 is Polyraptor, up $1.32 to $5.16. Okay, of course this has to be because of a Core Set 2020 reveal. And yeah, they're showing us some interesting dinosaurs, but one in particular is motivating this spike. That's Marauding Raptor. So basically, these cards create a loop. Now, if you can't break the loop, then the game's a draw, and that's no fun. But if you have a way to break the loop, then it's kind of like a Splinter Twin sort of thing that's going on. Every time this hits Polyraptor, you create another Polyraptor, that one gets hit by this, so on and so forth. If you can at some point, say, destroy this card or what have you, then you got a whole bunch of Polyraptors on the battlefield. We'll have to see if that's consistent in any format, including Standard, but it's at least interesting. On to the top 5 modern legal cards that have lost value this week. Coming in at number 5 is Horizon Canopy from Future Sight, down $4.13 to $77.98. This card is in a lot of huge decks, and that's not going to change. It's in Humans, Hardened Scales Affinity, whole lot of other decks in Modern and Legacy. Feels like ever since we saw that we're getting more of these type of lands from Modern Horizons that this card got soft. Part of the reason could just be the Future Sight one happened to have a really high price point anyway, because it's the original and it looks unique. But also, I do think maybe some people think that at some point in the not too distant future, they're going to want to print the other cycle of these lands, which would cause a reprinting of this. Who knows when that will really be, though. Number 4 is Modern All-Star Hogak Arisen Necropolis. It goes down $7.87 to $10.20. So with the Hogak Bridgevine deck just taking the world by storm over the last couple of weeks, why is this losing so much value? Basically, it's because at the moment that that deck started doing well, the set was actually not even released yet. People were playing it on Magic Online, and they all kind of scrambled to get their copies and pre-order copies. So that created a frenzy. There was the fear of missing out kicking in, and the price just really spiked a lot last week. Now, packs are out there, they're getting opened, everybody's calming down a little bit. This is also a pretty unique Commander card, and because of that, it could hold some value due to Commander interest. But ultimately, the value will be tied into how well the Bridgevine deck does. If that deck continues to do well, this card will definitely be going back up. Number 3 is Trinisphere, down $8.41 to $63.50. We've seen this card go up and up and up and up every week. All of it really stemmed from the Karn the Great Creator push. So many decks that run Karn want to run Trinisphere. Old decks that picked up Karn that started doing better, new decks that formed around Karn, and now finally things are calming down. You're seeing the normalization beginning to kick in. Number 2 is Teferi's Puzzle Box, down $13.56 to $26.50. This is the 8th edition copy. All copies of this are starting to go down. This is the one moving the most, though, at this point. This one in particular did spike pretty heavily, so it's normalizing a little more rapidly. This was part of a modern Narset Thopter Sword deck, which was kind of a hot deck for about 5 minutes. Still out there. If it puts up a big result at some point, then things could change, but if it doesn't, this stands to lose a lot more value. Number 1, Leyline of the Void. Guild Pack goes down 10.21 to 47.23. Magic 2011 goes down 21.35 to 34.74. So you might say to yourself, if you don't like to pay attention to preview cards, what is going on here with Hogak Bridgevine out there in Dredge? Why would this go down? This is a great sideboard card against those strategies, not to mention Phoenix. But it's simply because they are going to reprint it in Core Set 2020 that was announced last week. The older copies are going down. Things are crazy, so we're going to do top 10 modern legal cards again that have gained value this week. Number 10 is Bloom Tender up 497 to 55.17. Let's get it out of the way, my one per video. Cards that came out during this time period in Magic had a lower print run compared to most of the other modern era sets. So, when an Eventide card does well, it tends to get a little bit spiky. This one is just an awesome Commander staple, still hasn't seen a reprint. Eventually, I'm sure it will, but right now it continues to spike. Number 9 is Giver of Ruins. This goes up 499 to 1044. This is a pretty new card, of course, coming from Modern Horizons, but it is already seeing modern play in Eldrazi Taxes, Devoted Druid builds, Jeskai Humans, and more. This is one to keep an eye on. Number 8 is Primal Beyond from Morningtide, so another card from that time period of Magic, up 551 to 817. Now, in Core Set 2020 previews this past week, we found out that elementals are going to play a pretty big role ultimately within that limited environment. New elementals means maybe there could be some capacity for those to bleed over into other formats. Most likely, probably Commander. Cards like Creeping Trailblazer have definitely caught people's eye. So now they're going back and picking up other cards relevant to elementals. Number 7 is Scalding Tarn for Modern Masters 2017, up 801 to 108.49. Wow. This card just continues to go up. It seems to sit around the $100 mark. It will go up, it will go back down. But it's a key part of so many important mana bases. In Modern, you'll find this in Is It Phoenix, which is a very hot deck, of course. Dredge as well. And many other Modern, Legacy, and Vintage builds. Number 6. It feels like whenever I do any of these lists, Wrenn and 6 is always number 6. But this time it goes up 819 to 34.99. Okay, so here's yet another new Modern Horizons card that is on the rise, even though packs are being opened. Why is that? Well, it is seeing play in Modern and Legacy and Jund decks, actually. On top of that, there was a card that was previewed a couple days ago that actually could interact pretty well with this card. It's Lotus Field. So if you play Lotus Field and have to sacrifice some lands, Wrenn and 6 will get them back for you. Maybe this is more of an interaction for Oathbreaker or Commander. But yeah, players in those formats are also very interested in Wrenn and 6 too. Number 5, Auriok Champion goes up 974 to 23.47. Wow. Great sideboard card in Modern. You're going to find this in big decks like Humans, the Spirit builds, and much more. This card has gotten pretty hot lately. The Iconic Masters copy is going up a little bit too, but not to this degree, at least not yet. Number 4, Academy Ruins from Modern Masters this week goes up $9.91 to $50.99. Kind of just catching up to the Time Spiral copy, which was spiking over the last couple weeks. This is in a lot of important Modern decks, like Mono Blue Tron, for example, but a lot of people are also trying to pick this up for their Urza Commander builds. Number 3 is Warren Instigator, up 1177 to 1951. This is from Zendikar. And because of the cards for Modern Horizons, Rakdos Goblins looks like it's now a thing in Modern, so this is a part of that deck. Also sees play in Legacy Goblins. Not to mention the fact that we found out Goblin Ringleader is going to be reprinted in Core Set 2020 this week. Another catalyst for this spike. Number 2, Auntie's Hovel, up $14.99 to $29.98. This is a Lorwyn card, another one from that time period where things were a little bit lean. And, of course, this is showing up in those new Modern Goblin decks. And getting another push like the last card from Goblin Ringleader. Number 1, Sliver Legion goes up $15.56 to $119.75. This card is just out of control at this point. Yes, Slivers got popular again with Modern Horizons bringing new Slivers, especially the first Sliver. Now again, this is more for Commander than anything, but I have seen some people trying to pull together a Sliver Modern deck too. Vintage Spotlight time. Okay, we're going to talk about cards that are relevant for Legacy, Vintage, 93, 94, and cards that are important to collectors. First, we have Plateau from Revised. A lot of Revised dual lands are getting hot right now. Keep an eye on them. This one goes up $5 to $145, and this, of course, is on the reserve list. Also on the reserve list, Tundra from Revised, up $604 to $327.02. Demonic Hordes from Unlimited goes up 10.54 to 49.48. Unlimited cards just have been really, really hot. That trend continues. Part of the reason is 93-94 players. The other part is because collectors are very interested in them too now. This one happens to be on the reserve list, but it did get a reprinting in Revised. Here's another Unlimited reserve list card with Blaze of Glory up 12.01 to 67.50. Royal Assassin from Unlimited up 15.04 to 74.99. Vesuvian Doppelganger from Unlimited goes up 15.72 to 99.95. Much like Demonic Hordes, this was on the reserve list, but also in Revised. Mox Diamond from Stronghold, this is on the reserve list, but there was a foil printing in From the Vault Relics before that loophole was closed. This goes up 19.28 to 276.54 this week. This just keeps climbing. You're going to find this in Legacy Lands decks, Depths decks, and more. Copy Artifact from Unlimited. This goes up $40 to $140. Another card that is on the reserve list, but did see reprinting in Revised. Scrubland, 2 copies here on the move. Now, this is on the reserve list. The last 2 times it was reprinted were Revised, going up $665 to $188.98, and Unlimited up $45.44 to $450.10. Savannah from Unlimited, say it with me now, on the reserve list, but reprinted in Revised. It goes up $56.99 to $460.49. Third verse, same as the first. Here you go. The last 2 times this was printed before it made it to the reserve list. Volcanic Island, Revised up $510 to $458.99. Unlimited up $114.37 to $1,200.09. Mox Emerald goes up $299.40 this week to $3,299. Now it does look like this price is being jumped with an extremely high listing on the marketplace. Sometimes people will do that to make the market jump so that they can sell other copies of the card. Other times they just put a high price out there because they just really don't know the value, or they're trying to fish for an offer. Regardless though, at the end of the day, this is still a very expensive reserve list card. And one more Unlimited reserve list card with Time Twister up $354.59 to $2,784.58. Now, this card is moving up quite a bit, but it's just simply moving up because there's some higher quality copies for sale, some graded ones right now. Time for the Commander Spotlight. This section is always packed, so I'm going to go kind of quick. This is like our speed round. I'll try to tell you why the card's going up, but I'm only going to give you a short answer, not every little detail. So here we go. First, we have a card going down, though, and that's Altar of Dementia. This goes down $3.99 to $25, the one from Tempest. This is actually seeing play in the Hogak Bridgevine deck, but because it was just reprinted in Modern Horizons, making it modern legal, by the way, this copy is going down a little bit after some aggressive spikes. Grasp of Fate, just a really solid white card, up $1 to $16.99, still hasn't been reprinted. Vidalcan Orrery from Conspiracy goes up $1 to $25.99, and this is a card that is a Commander staple and gets a lot of mentions on the Command Zone podcast. Herald's Horn, another card that still hasn't been reprinted, up $1.01 to $17.09. Now, this card is very popular right now because of Morophon, but there was also a card that was previewed this week, and that's Icon of Ancestry. That also kind of plays into the Morophon strategy. So I did notice a lot of the Morophon cards are going up this week. You'll see some more in a moment. Don't know if Icon of Ancestry had anything directly to do with it, or if people just like Morophon. Memnarch from Darksteel goes up $1.02 to $7.36. This is showing up in Urza builds. Azusa, Lost But Seeking from Masters 25, goes up $1.02 to $37.01. Now, typically this is moving because of the modern deck Amulet Titan, and that's probably still the case. However, with Omnith being previewed this week, Commander players might be interested as well. Sylvan Library. Now, this is a legacy staple. This is the one from Legends, going up $1.03 to $122.45. The reason I wanted to point this one out is because these have all been going up quite a bit recently. This is a great Commander staple, and I do think this could be on the cusp of moving up rather rapidly. So every week it seems to be climbing just a little bit. All the other copies are too. Just pay attention to this card. Adaptive Automaton from Magic 2012, up $1.05 to $6.14. Another Morophon card. Ulamog the Infinite Gyre from Rise of the Eldrazi, up $1.05 to $25.59. So this does see modern play in Titan Breach, but for the most part, the majority of this play is in Commander, many times in Eldrazi builds. Urza's Incubator from Commander 2015, up $1.12 to $12.49. Another card you'll find in Morophon builds. Pawn of Ulamog. This is the one from Commander 2017, up $1.18 to $2. This is showing up in Yawgmoth Thran Physician decks. Alcor's Tomb. This goes up $1.19 to $16.78. This is a Legends reserve list card. Maybe that's part of the reason it's going up. But we have seen that protection from colors is coming back in the core set. Got some people thinking that maybe this isn't a bad pickup this week. Fist of Suns. This is the one from Commander 2017, up $1.22 to $11.66. Another Morophon card. Sylvan Tutor. Hard to find Portal Tutor, going up $1.22 to $58.99. I'm sure at some point it will be reprinted, but still hasn't happened yet. Temporal Manipulation, up $1.24 to $54.83. This is the one from Portal Second Age, so it is kind of hard to find in good condition. But this card is in God Eternal Kefnet builds. Always a crazy good commander card, but there was a preview card this week from Core Set 2020 that maybe got people thinking about this card or a deck with this card and the new one, and that is Shared Summons, as you can see on the screen here. Training Grounds, Great and Sliver builds, goes up $1.26 to $22.86. Inkmoth Nexus, another card you'll find in those Yawgmoth builds, $1.30, it goes up to $23.83 this week. Of course, this does see Modern and a little bit of Legacy play as well. Bearscape. The Bear decks have been popular recently too because of Modern Horizons. This one goes up $1.31 to $11.50. Should mention too that some of the movement from these cards is also coming from the Game Nights episode a week ago. A lot of that movement actually happened last week, but I'm sure you're seeing a little bit of repercussions from that now. There was a Bear deck there was a Hogak deck, there was also Yawgmoth and Morophon. Cloudstone Curio goes up $1.33 to $23.91. This is a great combo enabler and commander. Also sees playing some Bear decks with Beast Whisperer. Colonian Hydra. Okay, this one goes up $1.35 to $11.46. This is the one from Magic 2014. Another really solid commander card, especially with Unbound Flourishing coming out recently in Modern Horizons. Also, Wizards is continuing to support Hydras. There's one in the new set, Voracious Hydra. Time Sieve goes up $1.62 to $12.49. This is in Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge decks and Commander and Oathbreaker. Many times you find Urza in those decks too. Vidalcan Archmage up $2.01 to $8.99. Another card that is showing up in Urza decks. Paradox Engine, always a great commander card, but again, this is in Urza too. Up $2.16 to $44.99. This also got a Command Zone mention this week for a new commander deck, which featured the card that is making the next one go up. Delay. This goes up $2.20 to $7.78. This is moving because of the card I just teased. Another core set preview card from this week, Kaikar, Winds of Fury. Now, Delay does see a little commander play as it is, but people are already thinking about how to build around Kaikar. Here's another card you'll find in Urza, and this one's on the reserve list, making it more expensive. Power Artifact goes up $2.26 to $149.95. Urza players would like to get some unlimited mana loops going if they can, and this card combos with Basalt Monolith and Grim Monolith, for example. So yeah, this card could be going up a lot in the coming weeks. Pale Bear is another hard-to-find bear that hasn't been reprinted, up $2.44 to $8.09. Mana Vault. Okay, so Mana Vault's just a popular commander card generally. This does not combo with Power Artifact in the same way as some of the other cards I mentioned, since the untap ability here occurs as a trigger at a certain time. But still, it's very popular in Urza decks and other places. 4th edition up $1.01 to $26.77. Revised up $1.13 to $28.79. Ultimate Masters up $2.46 to $39.98. Now, one card that does combo with this is Voltaic Key, and it just so happens that there's a card from Core Set 2020 that is very similar, and that's Manifold Key. No doubt this is another reason for the card's climb. Cavern of Souls. Alright, 3 copies here. Ultimate Masters up $1.01 to $73.58. Evison Restored up $1.27 to $71.68. Modern Masters 2017 up $2.53 to $74.50. Cavern of Souls is in some huge modern decks. Humans, Eldrazi Tron, and many, many more. You're going to find this in Legacy and Vintage as well. Basically, if you're interested in playing any kind of tribal, this is a fantastic card no matter the format. But with everything going on recently, this card has gotten even hotter. Slivers got hot because of Modern Horizons. Now Elementals are taking off because of Core Set 2020. This card is just going to keep going up and up and up until it sees yet another reprint. Metalworker, now this is on the reserve list. Probably the biggest reason it's going up is because of that, but it goes up $260 to $53.97, and you will find this in colorless commander builds. Last Chance stays hot. Portal goes up $1.30 to $14.56. Starter $19.99 goes up $2.69 to $19.99. Doesn't see a ton of commander play, but I have seen decks that do use this card. Typically, they're extra turns decks that have ways to mitigate the drawback here. Dak Vaden from Eternal Masters goes up $2.85 to $25.59. Now, normally I wouldn't put this card in the commander section. It does see some commander play, but it's a huge vintage card, and recently it got even hotter. The reason I wanted to mention it today is because I have seen people trying to build Kaikar decks, and this is one of the cards they are looking at. Falls into the right colors. Grim Monolith, this is on the reserve list. It goes up $304 to $179.99. Now, this does see legacy play. It's a great card in decks there. But this also combos with Manifold Key / Voltaic Key, which of course a lot of people are now looking at that combo with the new card coming out. Also, this shows up in Urza decks, and you can use this with Power Artifact there. Vampiric Tutor. Tutors are just always hot. This one has been extremely hot recently. 6th edition goes up $1.06 to $67.95. Visions up $2.12 to $67. Eternal Masters goes up $3.06 to $72.99. Academy Rector, this is on the reserve list, and it's very popular in enchantment builds. It goes up $3.10 to $63.25. Here's Sliver Queen. Now, this is the Sliver Lord on the reserve list, going up $3.23 this week to $185.22. Exploration, Urza Saga up $1.10 to $35.67. Conspiracy up $3.40 to $33.99. This sees play in Legacy Lands decks, of course, amongst some other places there, but Omnith Locus of the Royal, again, I think is influencing this one. Bitter Ordeal, you'll find this in Yawgmoth builds. It goes up $3.66 to $13.99. Aphiomancer, another card you'll find in Yawgmoth builds. It goes up $3.89 to $12.97. Sapphire Medallion, now this is just a good card generally, but it's especially good in Urza because, of course, it can tap for mana. Being an artifact, it feels like a Mox Sapphire for 2, but it also reduces the cost of blue spells by 1. Commander 2014 goes up $183 to $22.42. Tempest up $3.94 to $29.75. Gaia's Cradle, this is on the reserve list. This sees play in Legacy Elves, Bant Leovold decks, but it's also a very good commander card. It goes up $4 to $359.99. Necroskitter, Modern Masters 2015 up $4.10 to $10, Eventide up $4.40 to $11.43. So this card started to get hot a few weeks ago because of Yawgmoth. A lot of folks are playing it there. However, notice it is an elemental too. Winter Orb, this has been showing up in Urza builds. 5th edition up $2.59 this week to $9.49. Unlimited up $4.58 to $76.50. Bear Cub, another hard to find bear, goes up $5.28 to $8. Demonic Tutor, this is the one from Unlimited, so maybe this is just going up because it's an unlimited card, but generally this card has been hot recently. Great vintage card, great commander card, up $7.29 to $73.09. Mana Echoes up $10.01 this week to $37.48. Now, this is good in slivers. We've known that for a while. But this did get a mention on the Command Zone podcast this week for another deck, Kaikar. Concordant Crossroads from Legends up $11.90 to $115.99. Again, maybe it's moving just because it's a Legends card, but it's also a great commander card. Static Orb, another card that's showing up in Urza builds. Tempest up $2.06 to $22.97. 7th edition up $12.29 to $34.99. It's been a couple weeks, but it's back, Mana Crypt. Now, this is the original version, which was part of that whole book giveaway many years ago. It went up $13.43 to $2.60. This also got a Command Zone podcast mention this week. Pauper Spotlight time. Okay, so let's talk about some cards that we all can afford, and we'll begin with Ancestral Mask from Mercadian Masks. You'll find this in the Hexproof decks there. Goes up 10 cents to $1.70. Freed from the Real from Saviors of Kamigawa goes up 25 cents to $1.49. This sees play in the Defender Control builds. Scred goes up 37 cents to $3.40 this week. This is an Izzet Delver. I kind of wonder if Izzet Delver decks will lose some steam with the recent bannings. However, with Scred also being a card that cares about snow, and we just got all the snow lands reprinted in Modern Horizons, plus some new snow cards, it could still see a lot of Pauper play going forward. Could also see more play in other formats. Okiba Gang Shinobi. This shows up in a number of Pauper decks, sometimes in the main, sometimes in the side, or a combination of both. One of the popular ones is Orzhov Pestilence. Plane Chase Anthology goes up 19 cents to $1.25. Betrayers of Kamigawa goes up 20 cents to 80 cents. Plane Chase 2012 goes up 69 cents to $1.63. Time for our premium spotlight. This is where I try to talk about some promo cards or foil cards that are hot. And I don't like to talk too much about foils, and here's my disclaimer. I know I say it every week, but it's hard to find good data online. Many times there's not enough sales to really know what's going on. Things are a little misleading. Other times people are trying to manipulate the market. But I still try to pick a couple foils that feel like they're moving naturally. Here's one, Sire of Stagnation. This goes up $9.60 to $13.99. So this is an indication of something that might be happening in the next few weeks. Typically, when there's a new card introduced that people are interested in maybe building around for Commander or what have you, the foils go up first, and then later on, the other cards start to go up. So the card that's tied in with this one is, of course, that 2020 preview, Jacques the Desecrated. I imagine a lot of people will try to build Commander decks around this card. And the next card is Warren Instigator. Now, we already talked about this card, but the foils are pretty hot. Zendikar foil goes up $7.32 to $25.75. Dual Decks Merfolk versus Goblins, this card is only in foil there, goes up $12.65 to $17.17. Okay, that does it for the Market Watch for today. Now, tomorrow we are going to do a preview video where we look at Core Set 2020 cards. We're going to look at the cards that were previewed today and tomorrow. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to do the same thing. So if you are interested in keeping up with some of these new cards, check out those videos over the next 3 days. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.